but I was originally going to do this, try to do a recording of this, but OBS decided to be a dick and crash the thing, so unfortunately, we're going to have to re-record our lines, unfortunately, but we were just talking about 1990s, 2000s, and a bit of 2010s animation we were just about to get into, so I want to personally introduce Corbin and Fusion Red Eye to the stream. This is the Over the Horizon podcast edition. We are talking about animation from 1990s onwards and a few bit of 1980s. We did briefly before the recording crash, so I want to personally welcome Corbin and Fusion Red Eye to this audio-only version of Over the Horizon. We were just talking about 2000 Disney before the audio crash, so take it away when you guys were trying to say.
Well, I was saying that Disney has essentially a second renaissance that gets easily overlooked in the 2000s with movies like Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Lilo and Stitch. Like, these movies are really good, and they're actually some of the better ones, but, like, they get, like, overlooked in favor of, like, the other, like, renaissance stuff, like, you know, like, the 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the actual Disney renaissance. But I think that the 2000s is a really underrated Disney era.
I mean, most people consider 2000s Pixar's golden age because they had Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, and Up. The only time they didn't release an anime movie in the 2000s was 2000, 2002, 2005. Everywhere else, they've released an animated film. So they were pretty good, consistent back then. And, of course, Blue Sky, of course, becoming a big thing. Not the Twitter thing, YouTube. The animation company Blue Sky with Ice Age in 2002.
Hey, Mike. What was it called?
So, Colvin, what you were going to say about 1990s?
Oh, wait. Now I remember. Wasn't Cars, like, one of the last movies released on VHS?
Yes, it was. It was only exclusive to the Disney Movie Club in 2007, and I have the full screen DVD of it. 2006, November 2006. Yep, and the VHS came out in like
thought it was older than that. Thought it was
movie's
like
almost 20 years
closer
old.
to when Toy Story came out.
No.
Like I know Toy Story was like one of the first of those kind.
Yeah, Toy Story came out in 95.
It's like literally like 13 years after Toy Story, Corbin.
My God.
Technically 11 years after Toy Story, because Toy Story came out in 95, Cars came out in 2006.
Oh.
Which we saw the death of 2D animation in favor of 3D animation. Of course, Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, and
Chicken Little.
I liked that movie as a kid, and Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
You know, Meet the Robinsons is meme to death because of all the memes in that movie.
Yeah, well, I think Chicken Little is like the most underrated 3D Disney movie, like easily.
Yeah, the movie's fun. What's the one scene with the ugly duck girl where she's like, tell me what I want, what I really want, I'll tell you what I want, what I really want.
Singing Spice Girls.
Fucking.
And they also have like I think the reason people hate that movie is because like the entire town's like absurdly mean spirited, but that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a good.
Of course, the 2010s is where my alley is, unfortunately. But there was some good animated film movies that came out in 2010. Toy Story 3 being the end to the trilogy of Toy Story films. I don't consider 4 or 5 canon. 4 or 5 canon. A lot of people. There was also that Winnie the Pooh movie that nobody saw or nobody remembers.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, only the first 3 Toy Story movies.
Only the first 3 Toy Story movies are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one's also like
overrated.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people, like I said, like to build up 2 is the best one. It's just like with Shrek. For whatever reason, the second one gets way more praise than it deserves.
Yeah, and Spider-Man, every time.
Yeah.
The only thing in Spider-Man 2 that's funny is the person that you know at the beginning of the movie he goes, "Go!"
I mean, there's funny things in 2, like Pizza Time is good. You know, that's from 2.
No,
like
2 has the best parts about Spider-Man 2 are like when he's suffering, because that's like the whole point of Spider-Man.
Also, like 2 has like all the best J. Jonah lines.
Yeah.
He even wears the Spider-Man suit in a deleted scene. Not to get sidetracked.
Yeah. They should have put that in the movie.
I think it's on
There's
the
like
2.1 DVD.
There's like a Robot Chicken like version of that where it's like J. Jonah being in love with Spider-Man.
Yeah. That joke's been done a lot.
Yeah, but the Robot Chicken version actually had the actor play him. Like it had J.K.
That's
Simmons
funny.
play. Yeah.
But the 2010s animation, Wacko Ralph, Legend of the Guardians, Rio, a lot of anime movies came out in the 2010s.
The only one of those that I liked was Wreck-It Ralph, and then the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph was a fucking abomination.
Of her being.
Yeah, I mean, Wacko Ralph 2 is just there. It's not even faint. Spider-Verse, of course. Can't forget about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Or
Yeah, that movie sucked too.
also, 2018 had that underrated Smallfoot movie, but you guys didn't really care for that.
Back to 90s stuff, since none of that got recorded that we said at the beginning.
Yeah. Of course, 90s, I grew up with the original Toy Story and a lot of the Disney Renaissance films, you know. The only Disney Renaissance films I think I've not seen all the way I've not seen are Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and isn't The Rescuers Down Under considered Disney Renaissance, or no?
I think so.
I've not seen
But
that.
Hercules is pretty good because it has James Woods as Hades, and he's like the best character in it.
Yeah, Hercules I remember liking a lot. I watched Hercules and damn it, what was the other movie? Oh yeah, and Aladdin on my dad's computer when he worked at Long John Silver's. Like it was like his computer at work.
I'm surprised you were able to do that. I used to, of course, a lot of the 90s fans. Bugs Life, I've seen that too.
Oh, I love Bugs Life.
Yeah. A lot of people say Ants
Yeah, Bugs Life was great.
Ants whipped off Bugs Life, but they were
I
more at the
actually-
same
pretty
time.
different.
Like, well, Ants was clearly like they saw that Pixar was doing an Ant movie, and then DreamWorks was like, well, let's do our own with blackjack and hookers. But here's the thing: they're both really good for very different reasons. I think sometimes I prefer Ants. It just depends on my mood because I think Ants is a lot more cynical.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a lot more funny. Like, there's that one scene in Ants where the dung beetle or whatever, he's eating something and he's like, dude, this tastes like shit, and the other guy's like, dude, it is shit.
I won't forget that one time I was I think I saw the movie, but they had the DVD player was all fucked up, so you couldn't hear the sound, which made me laugh my ass off.
And El Dorado is really good.
Oh, I've seen El Dorado. El Dorado's great.
Iron Giant.
I've never seen Iron Giant. I need to though.
But I mean, I think the movie Ants. I really like the scene where Grasshopper, the Grasshopper is talking about how if a bunch of ants stand up, they can kill the grasshoppers. I don't know.
It's been a while.
I sound like an idiot talking about it.
Yeah, your favorite part is something you don't remember.
Also, a lot of Ghibli movies came out in the 90s. Princess Mononoke being one of the best fucking anime movies of all time.
Princess Mononoke is easily the best Ghibli movie. But you guys ever seen The Prince of Egypt? That's probably my favorite.
I've never
DreamWorks
seen
movie.
Prince of Egypt, but I know it's based on the Ten Commandments or something like that.
Well, it's actually based on a book called The Prince of Egypt, which itself is in turn based on Exodus from the Bible.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had the same plot as that live-action movie.
Well, yeah. Well, that's Ten Commandments because Ten Commandments was actually based on the same book.
Yeah. The best cartoons are like classic cartoons from 40s. Would it be?
Yeah, I used to have some of the Looney Tunes shorts on DVD when I was younger. I think all of this kept rotted though.
Well, I have a bunch of like cartoon DVDs that have like old Looney Tunes and
I
all
think
sorts of
I
stuff.
even had a Milk Creek DVD that had like 150 cartoons on one disc.
Yeah, the ones I get were they'd be like 2 hours of cartoons, and it'd be like from the dollar store, and it'd be like those really thin cases.
Dollar
Looney
store.
Tunes, though,
Yeah.
like it's funny that like my dad didn't care at all about me watching Looney Tunes, obviously, but my mom, if she saw like certain things in me watching Looney Tunes, she'd get upset about it because like every joke in Looney Tunes is like dudes cross dressing and kiss
I mean,
characters
it's supposed to make
screaming
fun of those types of
and like
people.
yeah, but and like characters committing suicide, characters smoking all the time. There's like women in lingerie.
I mean,
Like there's like it's crazy how taboo Looney Tunes can get. It's really funny like to look at
yeah.
like you like it's I mean you can see how it also like kind of like started like a lot of the weird furry degeneracy that would come later like Looney.
This animated movie I've seen is Sleeping Beauty. But I've also seen the original 101 Dalmatians. I've not seen the original Jungle Book though.
You ever seen Dumbo?
No.
Damn,
Yeah,
Dumbo's good.
Yeah, Dumbo is good. Stop motion movies that
Yes.
Laika do.
Yes. Oh, I have so much nostalgia for these two things, but they're so vague in my memory because I was so young when I watched these DVDs.
Well, it
But
sounds
they
like
had like a
Horizons
lot of
knows
those
what you're
DVDs
talking
that had
about.
this claymation. A lot of DVDs had this
Are you talking about
claymation
Laika
fairy tales.
animation or no? Because
I don't know, but they did Rapunzel and they did
You're not referring to Almond Studios because they did Wallace and
what's his name? He
Gromit.
touches gold. Midas. They did the story of King Midas,
Okay,
and it's
I
really
don't know
good.
what you're talking about then.
They were just like claymation like videos that you'd find. Oh, and there's the Hansel and Gretel one. I like remember all these.
I remember Almond used to do animation movies. They even did one CGI movie called Flush Away, and that didn't do so well.
Oh yeah, that's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
They did
I
these
remember Flush Away.
angry kid animations that were really funny.
Okay.
I
Oh,
like
the
I like
Mr.
Chicken
Bill?
Run.
Like, oh no!
It was pretty funny.
I used to see Madagascar 3 when I was a kid. It's an okay movie, but I haven't seen it in ages.
I remember the one funny joke is when King Julian he like runs off he runs and jumps off a building and it seems like he's dead and Maurice like has a big smile on his face and then King Julian like flies up on a helicopter or something and then Maurice like has a big frown.
Yeah. So it just shows you how animation has changed so much. 2020's animation, there's not much to cover other than certain movies I've seen, like The Wild Robot, The Bad Guys, and another movie we're not going to mention here right now. I'm going to say it or else Red Eye's going to start saying weird shit to me.
Why would he's
We were
not going to say
talking about
weird
Ruby
shit?
Gillman.
Of course you were going to bring up Ruby Gillman, teenage crime.
You're the one that said it weird. You're like, when
I first told you about me seeing the movie,
you're...
you used to tease me about it. I mean, Wild
Yeah,
Robot, in all seriousness, Wild Robot is a fucking masterpiece.
I like Iron Giant.
I still need to see Iron Giant. And
Iron Giant has like a lot of cool
I don't get why
characters.
people really like K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, it's starting to get to the point where it's fucking overrated. As in terms of, like, there's so many people seeing it, and it's like the songs.
I thought it looked cringe from the beginning because it's like the same thing it's like the same style as that red.
Cal-Odds bullshit.
Yeah.
What movie are you talking about?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh yeah, no, that looks like shit.
I don't like that style.
As soon as I saw that first meme with the chick making the stupid face while sniffing the zucchini or whatever the hell it was, I'm like, I never want to see this movie ever. Super Mario World. I just count them all as one show.
Okay, because
Yeah.
they were shorts on Saturday mornings, weren't they, or were they actual episodes?
They're like 11-minute episodes, give or take.
Okay.
Initially, with the Super Show, they would rotate between Mario and Zelda, and then with Mario 3, it was part of. As with Mario 3 and World, I think we're both part of Captain N and the Game Master, which had like a bunch of different stuff in it.
And then, yeah. They did live action segments for that show, and it aired on Saturday mornings. Or did it air in syndication? I'm too young to remember it, obviously. It probably aired in syndication. But there's some.
Horizons, it's from the 80s. I'm too young to remember it, dude.
Oh, and then the YouTube poop memes that came out of it, like, there's Mama Luigi to you, Mario!
I guess it could have been. Actually, was it 80s or 90s?
90s, because if it's.
Yeah, it was 90s. Yeah, that's right. It was 90s. You're right. Which, to be fair, it's not what I was watching in the 90s.
No.
Which, to be fair, I only lived for 5 years of the 90s because I was born in 94.
I was born
watched
in
the Mario Super Show
grew
through
up-
the DVDs I got as a kid, and it blew my mind. I didn't even know there was a Mario cartoon. I got them.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's
I only...
I didn't know there was a Mario movie until 2008 when I heard about it from the Nostalgia Critic and the people posting videos of the movie online, you know?
My first Mario game was Mario 64.
I never had a Nintendo growing up. I did have a Game Boy, but I didn't have any cartridges for it. My console back of the day was PS2.
Like PS1 game.
No, I've never played the Bugs Life PS1 game.
Yeah, that was one of my first games that I owned. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I used to own the Ratatouille game, but the disc didn't work, so my parents had to return it. You know, on one of the Tiger Woods games, it had the Pirate for Starbucks.
Yep, the Spirit of Christmas. Yep.
That reminds me of some Costco locations in the Puget Sound region having a defective disc. So in between Toy Story 2, we play clips of the movie High Fidelity with Jack Black.
Yep. I've heard of that. Yep.
I wonder if you ever, that would be amazing if I had managed to find a disc with that defective disc or something, you know, if it wasn't all destroyed, you know. But there's no way to tell.
I'm sure there's probably some floating out there in the wild, just in thrift stores, right?
I would laugh my ass off if we did a Red Eye Feeder and we were watching Toy Story 2 and that shit happens. But it won't be available on the limited toy set, which came out in 2000, so not on the Wii prints or anything. Actually, they don't hear you guys. What the hell? Huh, now you can see.
I think that the Sonic movies... Really?
Yeah. Sonic 1 is okay. I've not seen 2 or 3.
Oh, I've seen all three of them. I think they would be better if they were
When
done...
you say it didn't hear us, did it not hear us at all this entire time?
No, they just didn't hear for the first few seconds, because I know that was just for, like, a minute. You guys are fine, though. Like, after I had to go and get a drink, I probably hit the one button of muting my mic, so I'm fine. Well, okay, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sonic 1 is okay? I mean, we were talking about...
I was saying that I think that the Sonic movies would have been better if they were done in like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style with Sonic, like based on his on his older design, and you know, like with I think they even should have given him like the voice of like the Urkel voice that he had back in the day.
I mean, they did have Ben Schwartz do it, you know.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
Yeah. I've not seen Sonic 2.
They had to do that.
I've also not seen If, but some my closest friends told me it was an alright film. But it's just a generic swap fest, it looks like, but I can't tell.
Sonic Boom's awesome.
You know, Horizon, you don't have to tailor your opinions to what we think. You can say things that you think we'll disagree with, and it'll be fine.
I know, because you guys won't like... You guys don't really... I mean, I like The Wild Robot, but you guys are not really into that film, you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you don't have to say that
You can say that
flop just because you think...
Right.
Like just because I say if like looks like generic slop, if I even said that, I don't even fucking remember. But if I've said that, you don't have to suddenly parrot that opinion. If you think it looks good, then great, you can think that.
Yeah, and you can criticize things that we like too, dude. That's what you should do.
I mean, you guys do play a lot of Halo a lot, but that's a fucking good game, you know?
Yeah, that's not a criticism, Horizons.
Yeah,
that were
They
live
did
action.
They did. You ever heard of CN Wheel? I almost said CNN.
Yeah.
Fuck CNN.
Yeah, I watched that as a kid. The CN Real stuff.
Yeah, me too. Me
and then
too.
like they did live action up until that like Incredible Crew or whatever it was, and then
Yeah.
that was like the last one they did.
Yeah, I think that was the one I watched, and then that show was axed after one season. I also remember Total Drama World Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And there was
Total
also
Drama is great. I love
Yeah.
Total Drama.
Yeah, I had a friend that used to love the show 16. Not 16
My
and
mom
pregnant.
hated Total Drama though because it's like they have a lot of like perverted jokes.
I mean, it's basically, we have Survivor at home.
Yes, the 16 sucked though. 16 was like the terrible show that the Total Drama people made.
Mm-hmm. No, like Heather's my favorite character in Total Drama, personally.
Well, she's the only one playing the game, right?
And then my second is like I know it's blasphemous to put Chris after Heather, but
Yeah, I don't think I'd go that far, Corbin. I think I'd put Chris first, but
yeah.
I think the first time I noticed they were starting to put that LGBT stuff in
Oh,
was
dang it.
Onward, when they had that same gender reference in the middle of the movie. The rest of the movie is good. The rest of the movie is good except for that bullshit, you know?
Well, can I say that I was saying that like the first time that I actually like started getting concerned about like gay stuff in kids shows was like in Loud House.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I was watching like there was an episode
black
of Loud House
character.
where it was like about a gay, like he puts like a love, like a girl puts a love letter in a locker for like another girl and they're like kids.
Yeah, but
And that was like the first time that I saw like just like explicit gay relationship in a cartoon, and that like was like the first time like I got really concerned. I was like, I don't think that this should be like normalized.
yeah, I agree with you, Corbin. I don't think it should be normalized. They did that shit in the Owl House, but I've never seen either the Wild House or the Owl House, so I can't really have an opinion on those things.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've seen from the creator of the Owl House was that Knights of Guinevere pilot.
Mm-hmm.
well, here's the other thing with the Loud House, Corbin. You know, it wasn't just like that one episode. Like the little black kid has like 2 gay dads.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
was
has 2
putting
gay
up
dads.
with
But as a
Corbin.
kid,
Oh,
I mean, as a kid, you don't understand that as much.
Well, the thing is, though, is like not only was there that, but you know that wasn't even going to be in originally. Like Nickelodeon made him put that in.
Really?
Yeah, originally Lincoln's best friend was going to be like a little blonde girl that had like a normal white straight family, and Nickelodeon's like, no, you need a black kid with 2 gay dads.
That's stupid.
Which, if you don't know, it's even stupider because the show was literally based on the creator's childhood.
Yeah, man. But in Fallout 4, you can have Buzz Lightyear as a companion.
I used to watch mods back in the day of people doing Skyrim where they would place the jacket with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was great. No, but you know, another thing. Earlier, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff we missed out on since the recording didn't go through earlier. So the flow got kind of all fucked up. But did we mention the OVAs and stuff, or was that before?
That was
recording?
before that when the stream recording got taken down.
Yeah, so like back in the 80s and 90s, had like the best anime because we had like OVAs, which were original video animations, basically the Japanese equivalent to straight-to-video cartoons. And that's when you got like the most base shit, because like it would always be like it wouldn't necessarily be like about adapting the whole manga. It would be about adapting something cool and filling it with like tons of violence. And then when they dubbed it, they'd add in a bunch of unnecessary swearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimate, and like there was no restrictions. So like for instance, Devilman, you'd get like the '70s version was all like Saturday morning superhero cartoon that has like Scooby-Doo music vibes, and then you compare that to the '80s and '90s Devilman OVAs, which are like super violent and actually pretty accurate to the original manga, although it actually is adapting from the novel, which is why Jinmin is actually better in the OVAs than he is in the manga, because manga
Yeah, there's a lot of plot elements that are added that are better.
The only
Yeah.
anime I've seen, other than a bit of Dragon Ball since you've streamed it, was Pokemon Indigo League, which only one episode has never aired outside of the Japan because of a certain epilepsy.
Yep. I mean, there's also
Yeah, and it's interesting. Pikachu causes all the seizures, but they ban the
Porygon.
polynigger. American animation is better than Japanese animation.
I
Are
call
retarded, but
bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I also like I love Looney Tunes, but I also don't think it's like the peak of animation. It's definitely one of the high points, but I don't know.
I think movies like Akira. I think Akira is like one of the best looking movies I've ever seen. I think that's like peak animation for me.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, Looney Tunes is iconic for a reason. So obviously, like, it is like a major high point, as is Tom and Jerry, Popeye. Like, yeah, no, like that. Like, I will say, that was like probably like the golden era of American animation. But
Like I love Invader Zim's humor and like style a lot. That's like
what
my favorite. But when it comes to like I don't know, classic animation, like it's like a lot like the humor's a
I
lot
don't know.
less cheap.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that's almost a little pretentious to say Looney Tunes is like better than Invader Zim, but
Well, I'm only saying like there's several levels that it is like artistically or like in like smooth animation styles and like hand drawn. You know what I mean? But that's not like a big deal. Like
I don't know.
Invader Zim, I think is way funnier, and I think I like the aesthetic that Invader Zim has more than Looney Tunes. But I like acknowledge that the fact that old cartoons like that are hand drawn the way they are, and how like smooth they're able to make it look.
Well, I got nothing else to say here, Colburn, so I think I'm going to end the stream and then edit it for YouTube.